Yes. It's just getting out of that at the end. Yeah, I think that might be alright. Right, evening all. Thanks for turning up. This should go down better than last week. We've got a few people on. Right. I nicked this one off the internet during the week. How the hell do they balance on there?
The eye bakes they're trained to make.
Oh, but if he gets something for and he thinks, well, I've got to go back. How the bloody hell's he go back, turn around? Gordon, Penny.
There's no turning circle in that, is there?
Bloody hell.
They've got a head for heights as well.
I've really got some.
Oh wow, who's them?
Right, these are my seedlings that I put out. And there is my first true leaf coming up. Don't forget that's the seed leaf first one. So there's my first true leaf on my onion seedlings. 8-ounce onions have got to go out. So half-size seed tray, that's all I need. Bit of paper underneath. These have been scrolled out with boiling water outside on the floor. Then you can see I put my mixed compost with me vermiculite in. Just make out the seeds there. So I want about 30 or something like that. That'll do me. Vermiculite on top, watered with that's what I call my small watering can. So it's only 11, so it doesn't disturb the vermiculite at all. And that is tepid water, not cold, greenhouse temperature. And then it goes in the, which my power is on underneath the propagator. And the vents on the top are left over because this end of the greenhouse is got the heat underneath anyway, kept at 50. So I don't want to get him too hot in there and sweating. That's another nice little chap I nicked off somebody's group. Look at the camouflage on him. It'll be perfect. And they blend in. Superb. Right, a talk I give during the week. This is Shirley Gardening Club on the outskirts of Brum. I've had this before. When I get there, because it's about an hour's drive, I have to go uphill, obviously, because I'm a bloke. And I've had these before in the loo, so we get a close up of it. And it's the obviously parish. So, in fact, the last one might have been parish council to do with the church. And you get twinned with a latrine, and these are twinned with one in Zambia. Brilliant. Have to get Colligate Gardening Club to twin somebody. That was the people coming in, normal thing. I'm all old uns, there ain't many young uns in nowadays, and there's more women than blokes. I'm lasting out the men. But most of these gardening clubs nowadays are old gardeners, meaning I'm just coming out for the night out. I don't think they do much gardening now anywhere. I'll go anywhere. Because the talk was on gladiolus for beginners, because I'm a beginner myself, I took some of the corms with me and explained them, and at the end I says, anybody interested, any new ones or regulars who grow them anyway, they want any cormets, and the lot went. And there was 5 who had never had them before, and I'm going to give them a go. I'd even made my own poster. Flogging me stuff. Don't flog a thing. Next time. Said this was a good one on all. Solar powered lasers are installed in the Saudi desert to help guide the lost to water sources. What a brilliant idea. Except when you get there, somebody's nicked the water bottle. Dave. First guest speaker tonight, Dave Goodwin, which I can tell the troops he'll be coming to our show in September. You there, Dave?
Yeah, mate.
Good man, thank you, sir. All yours.
These are some onion pips, just 3, what I'm growing this year, from the onions which I put down the year before. I took seeds off them and pips off them. I think Mick's got a few other pips, and I just held 3 back, which I've just planted myself, sold myself, just so I could keep the stock going, with this onion going. Right, mate. The seeds are the same. These are seeds I've sown. These were sown around about December the 14th, which I'll just do 16 again. I shan't be showing this year any exhibition onions, but I do want to keep this strain going. Right, mate. That's another one of the onion seeds, which are looking all right. And I think Mick mentioned last week, ideally to support them so they keep growing nice and straight. That's important if you're growing exhibition onions. Right, mate. These are pot leeks. I've not grown pot leeks for 4 or 5 years, but I decided this year I'd like to play about again with pot leeks. So I've got 1 or 2 different varieties. The one with the pink stickers on, they are John Salvy's new leek. You can probably make out some with green. They're Betty Blacks. There's some with red, a little bit further back. They're Geordie R's. And then there's a blue behind those, which are the Cumbrian. Right, mate. They're the Cumbrians, those are the blue, which are, at this stage I'm very, very pleased with. They're looking really good. Right, mate. These are long leeks, which I'm growing. This is Welsh seedling. A lot are growing pendle improved, but Welsh seedling, which has been out for years now, for a smashing leek. It is getting a little bit now tired. It was a long time ago since it was first introduced by Ibanez. But this head, well, I took these leeks off. I've kept going with a mate of mine, and it's been going now for about 10 years, but they still make some nice leeks. Right, mate. That's one of them. As you see on the other photograph, I put colours on them now. I do at this stage, I like to draw them up to extend them now. So what I put on is the colours. Next photo, mate. Which are these? This is pipe legging, which I could start at 6 inch to start pulling them up. Then I'll go up to 9 inch, 12 inch, 15 inch, up to 18 inch to get the length on the leaves. Next one, mate. And that shows the bore of the pipe legging, which is plenty big enough at this stage to start pulling. And then I extend, you get better legging with wider bores. Like I said, I extend to 9 inch, 12 inch and so on. Right, mate.
While I'm on that photo, Dave, do you slice down this?
They already sliced there, mate.
Yeah.
You just open them up. There's a slice down there.
Yeah.
But they're perfect for the job. They keep your leek nice and straight. The bore roll for that is ideal at the stage I'm using now. And like you say, you can get bigger with bigger bore rolls as you extend up the flag.
That's it. And it keeps the daylight off the barrel as well, keep it nice and white.
That's right. It's just I want to start pulling. That's it. I start at 6 inch, which is one cut there at 6 inch. Right, mate. And they're my exhibition onions from last year, which I put down for seed now, which for end of this year I should get seed and pips off them just to keep this strain going. This strain I've got is originally from Gerald Trewick, who let Peter Holden have it, which Peter Holden's grown now for years, which is now his own strain. And this one of mine, this has been going for about 5 or 6 years now. But I have put a cross on these with another onion, which is a Mick Bradley onion. So I'll decide and see how these turn out for next year. I think that's it, Mick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine, mate. Thank you.
Dave, brilliant.
Very good night.
Anybody got any questions for Dave while we got hold on him?
I've got one, Dave.
Yeah.
But when you say it's funny because a lot of people talk about their own strain, and I've been growing onions for a few years now, and they say that's your own strain, and I don't. I always think I go back to the person I got it off.
Yeah, well, like I say, I could still call them Pete Holden strain.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I
I
was wondering what your opinion on that was.
Yeah, the thing is, like I say, Pete Holden originally got the strain off Gerald Treeway, who were a top grower in 2005 or so, won many nationals and what have you. Pete Holden originally got the strain from him, which he's grown, and then of course he's kept it going and going. In fact, I think up to about 4 or 5 years ago at Harrogate and Pete Holden, when he's still called the Gerald Treeway strain.
Yeah.
But now it is his own strain. And I think you've got one, which you mentioned last week from Been Through, which were a cracking onion grower years ago. But off him, you had David Metcalf, got the onion strain off him. And David Metcalf, so a few years back, nobody could touch him with his onions.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
Yeah, cool. All right, thank you.
Lovely, Dave. Cheers.
Right, mate, thank you.
Jeffrey.
Good man. Another little species of rodent called the golden wavy mouse.
Hold on, mate. Jeffrey had his hand up.
See, of course, no hands up.
There was Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, was that a question for Dave?
General question about hooping onions and leeks to grow them straight. Do you do it with eating onions as well, or don't you bother?
No.
No, I don't bother with eating onions. Just the large exhibition.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You much hassle, Jeff. Right, this little chap here, golden wavy mouse. That'd be weird. Actually, see one of them in the, I don't know, whenever you see him, I'd crap myself. Right, back to my lawn. Right, I started this last week. Should have been Monday, run off with COVID, so started Tuesday. That's where I want to go in, and that's where my raised bed's going to go. Right, as a toss up, there's two on the internet. Well, there's two big ones. Well, there's a third one from China, but that ain't up and going yet. When they do, that's going to be the dogs. Well, everything else, I suppose, I'm bloody ticking over. So it's either Lazy Lawn and Wonder Lawn. Both of them come out, told me what I wanted and all this. And in the end, I went with these Wonder Lawn because the edging, what goes round the lawn, like where your soil goes, and this goes up to it. The other company just used timber. It's guaranteed for 10 a year. I thought, well, timber's going to bloody rot. So they've got to come out and replace that after 5 years, I'd say, or even 3 years or something. But with these Wonder Lawn, they use steel edging. Obviously, it's not rough or nothing, so it ain't going to hurt how many pets scraping and that is the only reason I had these. So these lot come out, and that area one up is obviously right up to the border and at the back. All these slabs up the pathway, so they'll be out of the way. Well, they'll need a bloody pathway, so that's going right up to that fence as well. And because we had, if you remember from last year, I had another live crop in there, so that come out eventually. So that'll be curved round there, then straight. Exactly the same if it was timber edging to get a curve in. Obviously out of wood, you ain't going to do it, or it's going to be bloody hard to do. So first thing, you got the slabs up, then they got all the aggregate which is on the front of the house. Andy's not in next door, so I got in touch with him, had permission to park my van on there while they got up. And the slabs I got up, I asked Paul down the plot if he wanted them. He says, I think he's going to have them for his back garden. And luckily, when the slabs did come up, they just come straight up. And there's no crap underneath, no cement under. So these are going to be perfect, which is better for me lifting these around here because I was lighting them all. So them if they're ready for Paul when he wants them. That's looking from next doors up. Right then, they got obviously coming through the porch. It's the only way they can get up in the back garden. And they just get these through. This is a machine that lifts the turf. It's the same as when the garden centre flogs rolls of turf. This is the machine they use. They're going to get that up the turf first, and then a certain amount of topsoil. Look after them, they'll look after you. That's what I've always thought. Anyway, come back onto that one in a bit. So we fed them, watered them, corn, dog, beetroot, sarnie, nice crusty bed. Working away nice. My raised bed, if you remember, it was on the patio when I put that together. He's a big lad. He could lift anything on his own, but he got one in, and me and my mate got on the other end. We bunged him down. We worked with him. Right, because we got to slope that road and that road, meaning they had to level off everything. So that they got spirit level on that, and that is nice and level. So I'm working around that now to level the surrounding of it. First thing goes down is a weed suppressant. Now there's two aggregates. There's a large chip and then like a small, which I'll see later on anyway. So that lot goes down. There's the edging going down. This is the metal stuff. And there he is, smack it in. Don't forget, this stuff when all the aggregate goes on, that is the depth of it. So it'll go up to the top of that. And there, which is a bad photo, you got to see through the blinds, but that is the lump of concrete what was on the bottom of my line prop. God knows what they was going to hang on the line to put that much cement in it. But luckily they got it out. That's why I made them a sarnie, because they were going to shift it originally. Small print getting through there. Then you're putting up, they've got nothing on the wagon to put down. In the end I put a row of plastic down underneath. If it had been piddling down, it'd been a right bloody mess. Luckily we had 2 dry days. So they're still bunging out the large aggregate all the way around. And then flatten that. Now they're putting another lot down. This lot gets flattened as well with a tamper. Now this is a small aggregate which goes on top of that. Is it a tamper or whatever they call it? In the road, it just flattens it and compacts it.
Whacker plate.
Good man, good man. That's what they need. Nice and flat, nice and solid. You can see the curve now and there. Perfect. That's what the missus wants. Keep them happy. There's the rest of my boards to go on here in the sun. Right, that big chap carried this up on his own through the porch. Good, Bennett. So the first one goes down. Obviously, look, they got to work around my raised bed. Right, I know this is blurred, but I had to get a quick photo. We had Virgin come in. That's who we got the TV and internet with. But they upgraded our box, V10, whatever it's bloody called. But I wanted to mention him because when he was doing the TV crap in here, looking out our patio doors, he says, "Oh, I had that done 6 months ago for our dog." And since we've been going up the park, talking to other people with their dogs, there's that many people now got this down for their dogs in the back garden. It was just easier. Common sense, eh? Right, there's a nice sticky tape that goes underneath there for them to, we'll come on to that one later on. But these offcuts, got me a little mate there. I asked him beforehand, I said, "I'll look after you." And my pathways in between all my raised beds at the top of the garden, to the back of my shed as well, and in between that raised bed there and the tunnel. I said all the offcuts, if you can wallop all them beds for us as well. Meaning when the dog does go up the garden, all that wood chip is now covered, meaning when it does fiddle down and the wood chip gets a bit muddy, which it will do when it breaks down as well, it is now covered with this lot. So if it does pill down and the dog goes out and comes back in, and you got no mud on it whatsoever, is a ray going to walk on it? Luckily they did that. Right in now, working up to the edging, getting it nice and straight. Then the bags of sand, this goes on the top, which we'll cover again in a bit. This is like a normal sprinkler. You can put in a grass seed down or a feed over your lawn. It just scatters it, but that has to get brushed in, which he's doing there at the top. He's put one lot down, so he's brushing that in, and then he's going over it again. This is to make all the hairs, if you want to call it, on the grass itself stand up in between the grass. But I've been through both websites and both companies, and they're the same, doing both things. The only thing with these two, it took them 2 days, 2 lads, and I've gone in touch with the other company because I've had a couple of problems since. Well done, nothing looks smooth. And they've said, load of crap, send me the photos. And I have. As you can see here, that is our floodlight, lighting them up. And I was working another hour after this, because it was the end of the second day. Quick break, Lidl. Nice beef joint. Roast taters, black country beef dripping. Look at that. Gordon Bennett. I nicked that one off the internet and all. A cloud behind a tree. With no leaves on. It looks like a cotton. Second guest speaker tonight, Keith Iron, also coming to our show this year. He's a good lad. You ready, Keith?
Yeah, just get that sorted.
Good man.
Right. Oh yeah, that's one of me. Can't remember. Oh, that could be the tayberry in the fruit cage. I just tied in all the new growth. I was in there having a tidy up because I've not been in there for a while. So I've tied those all into the canes and that, so that looks a lot better. So hopefully get some more fruit. That only went in last year, so that's put on a fair amount of growth in a year. So quite pleased with that one. Next one, mate.
Is this on your allotment, Keith, or back door?
Yeah, that's on the allotment. Yeah, the back of you can see the bamboo and the grass. That's the back of my plot that is not my bit. So that's the sort of border of the allotment site. Yeah. So I go right up to the edge, and there's that bit there. Yeah. So that's next bit of the fruit cage. I've been in there just sorting the gooseberries out, which I'm trying to grow as cordons, and then all the strawberry runners, which I'm going to be lifting in a month or so and sorting those out. But I'm sort of creating separate beds and wood chip pathways and all that in there, trying to really get it tidied up because I haven't done anything in there for quite a while. So sort of a bit of a project at the moment, getting that back into shape, but it's getting there. It's getting there. And that's another one that was I think that's a loganberry that I've tied in as well, sorted out. So I've been a bit ashamed of myself that I let it go a bit back end of last year and everything. So I'm putting a bit of effort in getting it all back into shape, but we'll get there.
Question.
Yeah.
On your fruit cage, I see you've got the mesh, which is fine, and then you've got another lower, the black mesh. Is that keep mice out, or?
Yeah, that's because behind that also I've had to do some reinforcing because I was getting a lot of badgers into my plots and they were ripping up. So at the bottom of that you can see a a board that goes all the way round. Then it even goes higher, and the whole of all my plots are surrounded by fences that I was they get in and I'd reinforce a gap or put up a new fence, and it's just basically to try and keep everything out, I'm afraid.
Oh, lovely,
So-
thank you.
I do get infested with badgers and rabbits and deer and you name it. It tries to get in. It seems to be quite successful at the moment, anyhow.
Cheers.
Yeah, okay, mate, no problem.
Keith, could I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
That grapevine, what size are the posts?
No, that's Tabury. Those are just shy, but they're just under 3 inches square.
Right, okay. Right, okay. Because
Yeah.
I thought it was a grape.
No,
because I've got a grapevine that I put in last year, and I've got to put posts in.
I know. That's I haven't. I don't grow any grapes, I'm afraid.
It'd be the similar structure anyway.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
always said so. Yeah.
All right then. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, just a lot of hardwood cuttings. I did a lot of pruning on some normal sort of bush gooseberries. The row nearest the fence are Jostaberry hardwood cuttings. Then there's the next row are goji berry cuttings, and the next 2 rows are all gooseberry cuttings. Some guys on the allotment have asked for some, so I always take them. Then if anybody wants them, they're welcome to have them. It's just a patch I use, and when another year or so, I dig them up, pop them up, and people can have them if they want them.
When did you
Always
take
there.
those, Keith?
Sorry, mate.
When did you take those cuttings?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I tend to take. Last year, I took all my hardwood cuttings and I actually got a sort of a big pot, about a 3 litre pot, filled it up, put each individual variety in one pot, then sunk the pot in the ground so I could just lift it, knocked it out, potted them up. But this year I got that spare bit of ground, so I just put them in rows there. They'll be fine there for another 12 months. They'll be all right. But I tend to take them any time from sort of November through to, well, now really. Okay, Mick. All right, I've got one of these little. I found this in the back of the shed that I inherited on the allotment site. And I never really used it, but last year I gave it a good old wash out, and there's obviously a lid on top, take it off, container, then there's a mesh base just above the tap where it's got a bit of a flat edge, Mick.
Yeah.
Sort of goes across, it's like a base, mesh base. So I just rammed it full of chopped up comfrey and put a little bit of water in there, and just really did ram it absolutely, as couldn't get another leaf in, and left it. I don't know if you've got the next picture, Mick. That's it. That's what it turned out to be, and I got 2.5 litres of concentrated comfrey feed out of it.
Nice.
So I've got 2 of those, but one of them the tap leaks, so I'll need to repair that. But I just found it an easy way of making some comfrey feed. So I got amazed that that was rammed full of ripped up comfrey. That all went down to next to nothing really. But I've got good 2.5 litres of concentrated comfrey feed, which I'll be using this year. And then I'll set another couple away back end of next year as well. Next one, Rick.
Is that your high nitrogen feed?
Yeah. I use it on a bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
I
brew.
do. I've got to get some. I might do one with nettles. You know, just anything I can get. Just if it's free, it's natural. Got to be worth it.
What will how will you decide what dilution rate to use?
Well, I've read up on it, and everybody says about 10 to 1 on a diet. So I tend to put a capful in a watering can, mate.
Yeah.
Decent capful in the water, not too strong. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I don't want to make it too strong. So I'll just put a good capful in a watering can and give everything a good soak.
Yeah. If you remember Neil Hans when he gives that talk on his heavyweight cabbage, you know, when he broke the world record, all he uses is comfrey brew, like you've got here, and a nettle brew.
That's all he uses.
It's the only 2 feeds he uses.
Blimey.
So that proves them good brews.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly be using it.
Yeah.
All right, this is a bit of a crop. The only two apples that somebody gave me. Then I've got some parsnips I've started lifting because you see they're getting a bit of damage around them, and I just grow those straight in the ground. They're my eating parsnips. A couple of onions, garlic, which I took 3 cloves off of, and I was just getting a bit bored one of the frosty days, so I thought I'd make some soup. So I chopped it all up, put it in my jam making pan, and on that you add a litre of vegetable stock, boil it up till it's all soft, then get a stick blender, blending it all up, and out of that I got 4 containers, and that's 8 portions of very, very nice parsnip and apple soup. Very simple recipe. I mean, it really is very nice, and you can make more by making it, adding more stock, making it a bit thinner, but I have it reasonably thick. So that as half of that as a meal, that's very, very nice. And at least I know where all the contents have come from as well.
Yeah.
Keith, what was the first bit of that? Because my speaker went and I had no sound.
That was 800 grams of parsnips, 300 gram of onion, about 250 gram of apple, 3 cloves of garlic, which I just chop up, and then I put a litre of warm vegetable stock, chopped everything up into little cubes, in a big pan, and what I do is I cook the onions first with the garlic till they've gone soft. Then I add the parsnips and apples. And then, I start off with oil in the pan. I'll get it right. Oil in the pan. Then the onions and garlic. Soften those. Then the parsnips and apple. Cook those for 5 minutes. Then a litre of vegetable stock. Boil it all up. And when it's all soft, stick blender.
Lovely.
Taste it with salt and pepper in the containers, let it go
That sounds
cold.
really nice.
3 in the freezer and 1 I eat there and then.
Yeah,
it's very simple,
The speaker went so I had no sound.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. I'm going to try and make some leek and carrot soup this week as well, and some other stuff.
Nice.
Right. That one, Dendrobium Orchid, I picked that up. They were in a garden centre before Christmas, and they were $29.99, including the pot that nice shiny gold or silver pot they come in. I went in the day before, like Christmas Eve, and they were $5. So I got a pink one and I got a white one as well. And so I thought that was quite good value. I wouldn't have paid $29.99.
Yeah.
A $5, I thought that was a real bargain, and they're beautiful, and they're still flowering really, really well. So really pleased with those. It's quite a nice little surprise when I went in. That's the white one. So there's Father Christmas behind, so that's at Christmas.
Frightening the markup they put on them, isn't it?
Oh, frightening.
Keith, what are those? Are they Phalaenopsis or something? Are they?
Dendrobiums.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they got the sort of bulbs, pseudo bulbs at the bottom. Yeah, they're really nice, and they're still in full flower. So I'm really pleased with those at that price.
And is that in like a woody compost? Is it?
Yeah, it was all really dark chippy, really wood chip. But I've actually got to go and get some more because my Phalaenopsis orchids, I thought I'd repot them, and I don't know if anybody else has had in it. I potted them up before Christmas, brought them back in the house, and getting infested with little black compost flies.
And how long will they flower for?
I honestly don't know. I've never had dendrobiums before, but they will they're still, I mean, they were in flower like that when I bought them the day before Christmas Eve, and they're still in full flower now. So that's, you know, it's got to be it's got to be 4 or 5 weeks. So I expect they've
What
got
do
to
you
be
keep?
in flower for 6 or 8 weeks already.
What do you keep? Bed 15, 20 degrees or something.
Sorry?
Bed 15 or 20 degrees temperature.
Yeah, that's just in the lounge. So yeah, it's going to be between 15 and 20.
Oh,
And
okay.
they just live where they are, one either side of where Santa was, and they seem quite happy. I I water them with rainwater. I give the leaves a wipe with the banana skin that you told us about, Mick. So they seem very happy. And the thing is, when the flowers die, is encourage them to flower again next year.
So you just cut the flower spikes off when they die?
Yeah,
then
when the
leave them?
flower's dead, yeah, cut the spikes off, and then I suppose got to give them a feed and let them have a little rest, and then give them a feed and encourage them to flower again.
Nice.
I'm not an orchid expert. I have managed. I've got my Phalaenopsis orchids coming back in bud, so they've got flower buds on. So I did repot those last year. Gave them a bit of an orchid feed, and they've come back into flower. So I'll do the same with these. I will put them in slightly bigger pots when they've finished. Take them into the greenhouse in the summer, grow them through that, and then bring them back in and see if I can get them to flower again. Next one, Mick.
Can I just say I did the same with my orchids, and I've had all the flies as well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I brought them in. You know, they come into a wall and they're just infested with these little.
Yeah, I was wondering whether it was
flies.
from the actual, like, the chips, the compost, the orchid compost.
Yeah, I think they must have been in there.
Because I bought new bag, and it must have been in there because we've had them everywhere. We just can't get rid of them.
I'm going to go and get some more compost and see how we go. But that's one of my plots that I've been cleaning up and prepping. This first bed, that's where my rhubarb is, and then the next ones are all empty, and that is, I've had to put that sort of corrugated, it's plastic, there's a wire fence behind that, in this side of it, and then I put that in to reinforce it to keep the badgers out, because this land the other side is common land, and we're not allowed to do anything on that, so we have to leave that. And the contractors have actually just been in and cleared all the hedges and all the growth and all the sort of land around the outside, trimmed it all down, cleaned it, made quite a nice job. So good. But yeah, those just all been dressed up with compost and that, so ready for the new year, new growing year. Next one, mate. That's my other plot on the left-hand side again. Those beds, the left-hand bed is where I'm going to try and grow my big cabbage along there. I'm going to build some sort of left-hand side, that's it, that long one. I'm going to try and grow some big cabbage. I'm going to grow a structure, build a structure on that I can put a nice mesh covering on, keep all the butterflies and all that out. And then I've just got that bed, the one next to it, little one in front in the middle of the picture, the raised bed that I've dressed and just covered with cardboard, and then I've got my eating leeks beyond that, and then the Keeler greenhouse is mine, and beyond that the green thing that you can see a bit of, that's a shade structure where I grow chrysanthemums in. Next one, Mick. Oh yeah, they're some of my onion seedlings that I planted at Christmas. They're Kelsey, so they're ready to prick out. That's the job for this week. They're a bit bigger than that now, so they'll come out if we pot it up. Next one, Mick. That's another one. That was Red Brunswick. They've just all come through, so they're all growing quite nicely, the onion seedlings. I can't grow, I don't attempt to grow massive, great big onions. I just haven't don't seem to have the knack on that, so it's something I'm going to have to work at. But yeah, they're coming through quite nice. They'll be pricked out this week. Next one, mate. Right, these are my Chrysanthemum Stalls before, or might be just after I took cuttings. All those stalls, that's Max Riley, they were lifted before Christmas and cleaned up. The roots trimmed really heavy, and then they were all heat treated in a big old saucepan of hot water, 5 minutes at between 120 and 125 degrees with a sort of jam thermometer. So keep them in that 5 minutes, no more, and then immediately plunged into a bucket of ice cold water for another 5 minutes. Out of that, dried off, and then into there, and that is to kill any bugs that are loitering in there, but also to basically stop the spread of rust.
Have you used sulphur powder, Keith?
No, they were lifted, cleaned off, the roots were trimmed back really hard, and then they were just dried for a few days, and then they were heat treated in 120, 125 degree hot water for 5 minutes exactly, immediately lifted out and plunged into cold water for 5 minutes, then dried off, then put straight in there, left to rest, and then they were put on just a light warming, and that's what they've done, they've made. But that is supposed to kill off all the rust, any problems with rust. So all the big growers do a lot of heat treating, and they've thrown some nice cuttings. So hopefully that will be the answer. So I just put them in ice cream tubs, just like that, one variety per tub, and then take the cuttings, and you get quite a good flush of strong cuttings from the stalls like that.
When will you start taking the cuttings off then?
I've just taken them about 10 days ago. Yeah, I've taken those now.
And have they got bottom 8 on?
Yeah, there you go. There's the cuttings I took. That's Yvonne Grey on the left, which is a pink, and Max Riley, which is a goldy colour. Just little quartz seed trays, and I took those and they've gone onto a heated bench with one of those little high dome lids on. Yeah, they look all right now. I just put a bit of lightweight fleece just draped it over because we've had some sunny afternoons just to shade them down. But they'll be in there, and when they're rooted, I'll lift them and plant them out in deep seed trays. And then when they're bigger, I'll then move them on into 3.5 inch and 5 inch pots and 3 litre pots before planting out.
When will you start feeding them? When
I won't feed them. The feed will be all in the compost, and I won't feed them until they're planted out. And then they'll be feed in the ground, so they won't get much except sort of foliar feed. So all the feed will be put into the ground before they're planted out.
Thank you.
Right. Next one, Mick. So that's just another stalls that showing good growth. Seem to get quite a nice even flush of cuttings. You know, I read up and reading some of the growers, they'll take the bigger cuttings and they'll put them in an ice cream tub and put them in the fridge and wait for the smaller cuttings to catch up to the same size, and then take those and bring the others out and plant them all, so all their cuttings are the same size when they take them, so as the growth hopefully will be the same, so when they stop, all the plants will be the same height.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a commitment when you see these guys who grow 400, 500, 600 plants. It really is a commitment. But I grow about 40, 45, and that takes me enough time to look after. So I Trouble is, I try and grow a bit of everything, which is not ideal, but good fun. That's the main thing.
Do you ever get trouble with earwigs?
No, you do get trouble with earwigs on dahlias, and then you get a lot of guys will put the old flower pots with the straw inside, upside down on a cane, so they crawl up inside. And some of them, there's one grower who will go round and put Vaseline on the stem of every flower that he's got. So when the earwigs go up, they get stuck and that. So hell of a commitment, but I haven't had, touch wood, I haven't had trouble with earwigs on my chrysanthemum.
What type are those?
I think that is just because I've just got to work out the angle of the one bottom left-hand corner. I think that's Helen Louise.
So would that be like an intermediate or incurve or something like that?
Incurve, yeah. I'm sure that's the incurve. Yeah, quite a nice sizable flower. To get it right, it's getting all the stopping dates right. You miss it by a few days and you can be too early for a show, too late for a show.
So do you do like all disbudding and stuff like that?
Yeah, you take them down to, I grow all mine 2 up, so I'll pinch them out and then grow them up two stems and take all the side shoots out, disbud, just get them one flower, and then you just hope you've got the time. I've got my timing a little bit. I was a bit early on some of mine last year. I only showed locally, just for a bit of fun, a couple of local Dahlia Chrysanthemum Society, and I was a bit early for one and got it okay for some of the others. So yeah, they are beautiful flowers, but you've got to be committed if you're going to show at the top level.
Do you grow reflex as well?
No. Too warm down here. They basically said, don't bother try growing reflexes down south. You just can't do it. I'm sure there are guys who do it, but no, they just don't grow well down here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, mate. All right, these are some outdoor hardy chrysanths. I bought a collection of outdoor hardies. So they were little rooted cuttings in Jiffy 7s, and I just potted them up, pinched them out once, just put them in the garden, and I can't believe how much growth. They made big plants. You've got some lovely flowers, nice colour, nice late colour in the garden, but then they all started going over with the cold weather, so I cut them down to ground level, and this growth was already coming through, and amazing the amount of growth that one little cutting has made underground to produce that, which is now, it's another inch high from when I took that picture. So I'll be taking some cuttings off those, most definitely. Got about 6 different colours, and they make lovely late colour, so there'll definitely be cuttings coming off those. Got the next one, mate? Yeah, there's some more. They're coming up everywhere. They're at home. They're just in the border, and yeah, they've thrown up so much growth. They're cuttings for the taking, so I can't not take some off those. They've got to be done, and then just people get them. We use them plant sales, give them away, whatever. But they're there. So very easy, the outdoor ones. And don't just, as long as you stake them and hold them up, they're happy, and they produce loads of flower, loads of lovely colour. Next one, mate. Oh yeah, they're just some rosemary and some perennial kale cuttings I took. The plants had lots of little shoots on the kale, so I thought, right, I was pruning it into shape, so I thought, well, I'll have those shoots as cuttings. Likewise, the rosemary was getting a bit tall, so I just take the cuttings and away they go. So I don't know what I do with them all when they've rooted and I've potted them up, but I can't not take cuttings. If there's cuttings to be taken, I'll take them. Next one, mate. Oh, that's some of the hardy chrysanths. Sort of apricot one on the left. The one on the right isn't blue. It's a lilac colour. But there it just throws hundreds and hundreds of flowers. Say, nice lake colour. Next one, Mick. And that's a pink one. Next one, mate. And that's sort of a deepish pink red colour. So yeah, well worth growing. Any more, Mick? Oh, that's the yellow one. There we go. So plenty of different colours. Next one, mate. Oh, that's it. That's the same picture as the other one, the veg. Yeah. Are there any more, mate? No, that's the same one. That's it.
Brilliant.
No problem.
Thank you, Keith.
That's all right. Pleasure.
Excellent, Keith.
Cheers, mate.
Anybody got any questions while we've still got hold of him? No.
Yeah, I have.
Go on, Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey.
I want to ask you something. The only kind of chrysanthemum I like are the ones we use in churchyards here, and it's the old-fashioned type. One head, white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I, if let's say November time, if I buy one for the kirkyard, yeah, for the cemetery.
Is it the big ball?
Yeah, the big ball of white. You get
Big
about
ball of
2 or
white,
3
yeah.
of them. But I've always loved that type, and I've never decided to grow them. So if I get one of them at November time, when they're on sale here,
Yeah.
can I take the technique you have and take the cuttings like them as well?
Yeah, yeah, because they won't last. Those ones, although the hardy ones, the last ones, last out through the winter. The ones that I had in trays that I were taking cuttings won't last outside in the winter. So that's why I dig them up, bring them indoors. So if you're buying, there'll be young plants, I would have thought, would they?
No, fully grown with the
they're fully grown,
with
big
the
plants.
heads on that. Yeah, it's like chrysanthemums here are sold the week before and the week during 1st of November.
Oh, right.
So
Right,
they're sold to
as
put.
growing plants. Yeah, I
Yeah, as
presume
full-grown
then.
craft, they're for putting on the graves of
Right.
family and something.
Okay. So I would presume then that you could just overwinter those in a cool, frost-free area and then grow them on next year. Or you could take cuttings, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I would say, yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Okay, mate.
Thank you.
No problem.
Cheers, Jeffrey. Thank you for that, then, Keith.
That's all right, mate. Pleasure.
Just normal. Thank you, sir. Oh, now I've got to get off my page now. There we go. There it is. Got it. What, Paul, you been out in the garden? With your lucky shoes on? Rolly.
Ollie.
Good man, Rolly. Get me ferret back up. There he is. Oh, clear off. Right, I need full screen again. Here we go. Right, I nicked this off the internet. I'm giving this method a go this year. Egg box, eggshell, and chopped up banana skins as fertiliser, soil, and then carrot seeds. Hopefully I'll actually grow some veg this year. Fingers crossed. Gordon Bennett. I think there's a new gardener who's read some, well, if we grow carrots in then, perfect. I see that's pushing knife for an end result.
You can grow sweet peas in eggshells because they like the calcium, don't they?
Yeah, I've heard of that before, starting peas off anything like that, but growing carrots in, that threw me a bit, that one. Whether there's things you can do with any veg, start any veg off, I don't know. I think it's a bloke or a woman. Rizia. Any road up. I thought I'd get that one as well. Right, when I was in the mob, I mentioned this before. I joined the mob at 15, basically to get away from home. Because the old man was strict, to say the least, with me and our kid. So much so that me and Pete were at our bed. Bloody hell, up until I joined the mob, basically. That's how strict he was, and we was, well, not scared stiff, but as soon as I joined the mob, it never happened again, or with our kid when he was at home. Thinking about it just lately, well, the last year or so, because your grandparents, I love my grandparents, but we only had one set of grandparents. Well, most people have two. And father's side, his father was an alcoholic, probably why he had a shit upbringing. But his mother, we'd never met her, and was been alive for yonks when we could have introduced us and all this crap. So thinking about it, to treat us the way he did, in the, you know, to bring us up right, I suppose, which is well, it worked with me and Pete, but he must have had a bloody shit life. And we still loved him, but we weren't allowed to play football in the street in case upset the neighbours. Weren't allowed to shout and nothing if we went visiting. But when you join the mob, it's got to be the same as armies, anything else. First thing they do when it's sports day, can you play football or rugby? I.e., they want to suss out any good players to represent the Navy and all this crap. It says no, we weren't allowed to play football when we was kids. We was always down the brook climbing trees. I mean, it was fit as a fart, but like these lot here. Right, you're called to do football or rugby, so you'd have to do cross-country running. And they put us on a route where it lasted an hour and a half. So by the time we got back, the football and the rugby had finished. But we've always kept fit, and still have since. Got a bit of a belly on me. Right, this was our couple mess. This was for captain's inspection on a Saturday morning. The floors, 4 tiles, we used to scrub with toothbrushes. Right, them are spittoons there. Anybody watch Moby Dick last week? I don't know if it was on BBC One or BBC 4, I can't remember. But quite good actually, I quite enjoyed that. But Old Navy, they all had spittoons. Because they used to have chewing tobacco, same as old Clint Eastwood. Except he used to spit it out on his dog, hadn't he? But that's why they had spittoons on ships. And we've still got them now, obviously, just for bullshit. Because we had to polish them. Just a little update there. Right, another wonder of nature in Alaska. Wood frogs freeze for 7 months a year. The heart stops beating, the blood no longer flows, and their glucose levels skyrocket. When finally the weather gets warmer, they then thaw and hop away. Good, Bennett. Great aim. Third guest speaker tonight, Scott Cooper.
Oh, crikey. I didn't know I was speaking.
On your focus, you're giving me.
There's only a couple. Some lovely worms in my compost. I've got a woolen jumper on top of there, and plus then I've got a carpet on top of that. And you lift the carpet off, and that's what you find. So I think we're doing something right. Look at that, beautiful. Isn't it? It's only about 4 weeks old, that brew.
Yeah, excellent. If they're there, it's working. I'm happy.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
They weren't happy, they'd clear up.
Yeah. And then managed to get around to covering all my beds, top dressed them with hops, compost, horse manure, some rock dust, and anything really, and just and give them a good watering, and then cover them over. So
excellent.
Yeah. And that was my monster parsnip. That's a teaspoon for like the size. But yeah, again, I'm a bit like the guy did the talk earlier. I made some soup with that. I did some spicy chili, parsnip and sweet potato soup with that. But that was lovely. That was.
I thought you had chili, do you?
Oh yeah, I'd go have chili on it. Yeah. And then we've got some fella coming down to Essex in April. I don't know who that is, but looking forward to that one.
Oh, that should be good. Anybody's down that way?
Yeah,
Suzanne's mentioned us if we can do it.
that'd be good. Yeah, I don't think she's that far away, is she?
No. Thanks for that, Scott. Excellent.
No worries, mate. No
Thank
worries.
you, sir. That's
Okay.
all I need. A couple of photos of people. Keep going. Cheers, Scott, mate.
Okay, mate.
Right, here's one for you. Anybody over Wolverhampton Way, Nigel, Hendon District Gardening Club, Bradmore.
I come to that one about 2 years ago, did you, Donny?
Was that the one opposite?
It's right on the corner by the traffic lights.
Yeah, but this was the I think it's built. I don't know if it's the old building. We went in the old buildings, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think this is opposite Hendon District Gardening Club. Let's have a Google again. But this is a 2 p.m. start afternoon. The building they used to get on a night, they put the rent up that much, they can't do it. So they've moved it to 2 p.m. It's half the price, which most people have pensioned off anyway, meaning nobody works, so they can get out on an afternoon, which is easier. I think they've had 2 meetings, and they get more people turn up in the afternoon than what they would on a night, which is common sense, isn't it? No dark nights and all this rubbish. But if anybody's in that area. Another photo I've got, look at these lot here. I know there's places in the States, Italy, and I think there's a place in France as well. I think them starlings mainly. But when the noise they make and the disruption, i.e. shitting on whatever when they're roosting up. But luckily around here, we don't have nothing like this, do we?
I've seen one of them up in Yorkshire. They call them a murmuring.
I know that the patterns they make.
Yeah.
But these are thousands and thousands, and it's just one massive mass. Oh, who's that?
Yeah, in the pub tonight.
This is our 4th guest speaker, Colin Amazon Stokes.
It's Bert Weed, isn't it? Yeah, in the pub tonight.
Right, here you go. Monkey see, monkey do. I've been looking at mixed wine, so I thought, blimey, I'll have a go at that. So this is my effort. That first one is Parsnip and Banana. I don't know whether I've got the recipe off Mick or somewhere, but it's turning out very, very nicely. It's I've racked it off a couple of times. Yeah, I've actually stocked it now, and it's ready for bottling, but I've got to scrounge some bottles. But it tastes beautiful, and it's cleared.
Yeah,
amazing.
Clear.
And the ones at the back, the 2 at the back, are from. I've got an excess of strawberries in the freezer, so I put them in and made some, and that's not as strong as the parsnip, but it smells beautiful. It's retained the smell of the strawberries, and it'll be a nice drink. What I've got to do with that is that it's fermented all the sugar out, and it's very, very dry now. So I've been looking online, and I've stopped the fermentation, and now I've got to back sweeten it, like add some sugar syrup to just take the dryness off it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just going on. I'm following people on YouTube because it's winemaking is something new to me, but I've seen Mick do it, so I thought, monkey see, monkey do.
That's it. Once I start going, you can carry on with it. You've got a spare bin. Most things I can make wine out of.
We'll see.
Just don't do cabbage or onion wine. It's crap.
Colin.
Yeah.
My dad used to put a bit of when he's
wine was dry, my dad, he used to put a bit of boiling water and a bit of sugar and keep adding it until it sweeten up. That's how he should do it.
That's the method that I've looked at on
A bit of sugar water.
on YouTube. You make the sugar syrup,
Just sugar and water.
sugar and water,
And just keep adding it to your taste.
Yeah, and it's good fun because however much you add, you have to taste the wine. So by the time you're well sloshed.
You're getting quite drunk. Put a straw in and try it that way for the top.
Anyway, that's another new hobby.
You can buy a wine sweetener.
Sorry?
You can buy a wine sweetener.
A wine sweetener? Oh, can you? Oh.
Just put like a teaspoon per bottle in your demijohn.
Oh right, I'll have a look at that. But at the minute, I'm going to use the sugar syrup. I've already mixed it. Actually, I might be doing it later on tonight.
But you have to make sure your fermentation is finished completely, or she'll start again.
Yeah. Well, I've put some stuff in a couple of days ago that stops some sorbate. Is it something?
It's a Camden tablet you're on about that kills the fermentation.
There was something else. I put a Camden tablet in and some sorbate, something sorbate.
Yeah, you can get a fermentation.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I shall use bottles with pushing corks so that it'll be all right. Keep them in the garage out of the way. If they go pop, well,
they're looking good anyway.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice and clear, yeah. Where are we going?
It's yours.
Oh, yeah, it's my raised bed project. I did one last week. This is my second one completed. I've just got starting on my third one tomorrow, which will be to the right of these two, where my beetroot are.
Is that the start of it there?
Yeah, that's. I'm just getting the levels there.
What size are the beds, Colin?
Sorry?
What size are those beds?
3 foot wide by 12 foot. There's two gravel boards long.
Have you joined that with a like a proper post, or am they just butted up together?
No, they're butted up together. And what I've done, Nigel, I've got some metal bars about 3/4, 5/8 diameter, whichever I can get, bars or tubes, and just punched them down the sides.
All right,
Just
good idea.
to retain them.
I can see them now. Yeah.
These are 2 foot into the ground, and as I get more metal tubes, I'll reinforce them. So,
yeah.
But once that's done, that it'll do me. It'll be just the right height. It'll be fairly neat. So, and this one over on the left, which is scaffold board, I'm going to do away with that. So I'm going to make that out of gravel board as well, so that it looks nice. But that's a little bit wider than these two. That's 4 foot wide. I've made these two 3 foot wide, simply because the gravel boards are 6 foot long. So to get the ends out of one gravel board, cut in two, if you see what I mean.
You are lifting them on your own, haven't you?
No, the missus did it.
Well, I'm not lifting, and I'm sort of hodging them with the way we built the pyramids, me and you.
Grabbing them.
Taking it very, very carefully, and well, Adrian next door comes around and gives me a chuck when I've got something really heavy. But they are.
And the Amazon man gives you a lift occasionally.
I tell you what, I used to be able to lift these, no trouble, years ago, but now you can hardly bloody move them. It's
the made them heavier, Colin.
Well, I'm struggling to lift the half ones, never mind the full ones. But we're getting there, so and I've got to get some more slabs around it so that it's all nice and neat. And then you'll see in the distance where my sprouts are. I've got 4 beds there, going from the left by the blue pipe across there, there's 4 beds that are wider, that they're about 4 foot wide, and I shall put some. I shall raise make those into raised beds, but I won't use gravel boards because it's a bit expensive. I might just use some timber if I can get hold of it. Just to raise it up to me, because I'm struggling now to get down to ground level.
Do you get no throwaway slabs anywhere, Colin?
Well, I keep my eye open, you know, on Facebook, etc. But once again, it's a matter of thinking, fetching and carrying them, you know, because I can't pick a slab up. If I can manage 600 by 600, but anything bigger than that, it's a bit.
That's all I would say. Those sprouts are impressive.
Oh, they are. They're beautiful. They're standing nice. I can't remember the
It's the best sprouts I've seen for a long, long time.
You're joking. Oh. They are good. Strangely enough, I think there's 4 or 5 there. But I lost 3 plants. They just didn't.
Be interested in the variety, because I can't grow them like that.
I'll have a look. I've got it in my book upstairs. I'll let you know
Good.
next
Thank
week.
you. Thank you, Colin.
And the Christmas, Colin, and the Christmas.
No, they're not. They're not Christmas. I have got some Christmas for this year on your recommend watching your channel.
Montgomery?
No.
Trafalgar?
Is it Bedfordshire?
No,
Film basket, perhaps?
I don't know, but I've been growing sprouts for years. I've never grown them that big.
There's over 100 different varieties of sprouts.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I can tell you they're standing well. They're keeping firm. The ones that are formed, and they taste beautiful. So coming to the end of them now, but they are nice. Yeah.
good bit of soil there, Colin.
Well, this plot here, all this little portion to the left of the house, I've been cultivating it for 40 years. Bought it just after we bought the house, and I cleared all because years ago this area here. I'm pointing and you can't see me, but what you can see used to be the entrance to the farmhouse up the back, where they've built the estates now. And this was sort of full of bricks, etc., etc. So over a period of time, I've dug it and cleared it, and I must have put tons of muck on it over the years.
You could stick a lovely, where you put those 2 long beds in, you could stick a lovely polytunnel over the top of that.
Well, Nick, I'll let you have a word with my managing director and see how she thinks about that idea. Yeah. Have we got any more, Mick? Oh, that's from the other side.
Rub it in for Nick.
Hey?
Just to rub it in for Nick.
Oh.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive, I must admit.
Christmas trees there.
Yeah. Yeah, they are nice. That's looking up the plot from the hedge at the front, but it looks a bit of a mess now. I'll get the broom round, and you can see these four growing areas here, and then right at the bottom of the picture where the bucket is at the bottom right hand, and these slabs, they are what used to be my onion bed, and that is 9 foot by 16, which makes a perfect 16 square yard area. And years ago, when I dug that out to about 4 foot deep, and the neighbours thought I was bloody balmy, and I put all sorts of stuff in, and ever since, up until the last couple of years, I've just maintained that as an onion bed. But I haven't bothered the last couple of years. I don't know what I'm going to do with it this year. but it is good fertile soil.
Yeah.
One thing I insist that I will never ever do, all these slabs are just laid on soil. I insist that I won't have any compost, cement or anything in that bit of land, because I'm thinking of the people that come on after me. They just want to clean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like cement or even gravel or sand. It's just laid on flat earth, levelled off right and level, and it's good enough for an allotment. It doesn't get a lot of wear.
Yeah. Excellent. Just one on your sprouts, Colin. That's what I do. 1 stake for each sprout.
Yeah.
A good brew underneath, you get a good return on the top.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. That's more views. It's looking neater now.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
See the fog in the background? Oh, we had a bloody foggy day last week.
Yeah, we've had 2 or
Murky. It's
Sherlock Holmes weather.
yeah.
That's what they use, to murk.
Yeah, disappear. You can disappear. Now that I've got a sad tale. Do you remember that I showed you my little seed trays sowing various bits? I've been plagued with damping off. I've lost a lot of them. So I looked around and I've got this bottle of this copper sulphate, and I've looked online, and I can use this to make either Bordeaux mixture or Chesson compound. Bordeaux mixture is traditionally copper sulphate and lime, and Chesson compound is copper sulphate with, I'll write this down, I've got to get some ammonia carbonate.
Carbonate, yeah.
Yeah, of various percentages. But you can't get either of those products now commercially. You used to be able to buy them, but there's nothing to stop you making your own. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Where I say, the seeds that are damped off were those that I sowed in my own compost, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, I've got a problem with that there, so I've got to look at that. If anybody can suggest anything. Somebody suggested just pouring a kettle of boiling water over the compost and letting it sterilise it like that. But there's something that's caused me a problem, so I've got to look at that. You have to tell it as it is, ain't you? Nothing.
I can remember them 2 being banned because our supplier told me when they was going, and that's when I stocked up. And I think it was 2 years ago. I sold the last tin of well, both of them.
Yeah.
Right. Taking a bit off us.
Yeah. But anyway, I've got enough. Oh, I'm right. Oh, crikey. This is me, Paul.
Yep.
This is my latest Facebook purchase.
Oh, God, yeah, I can really. How much you pay for that? 20 quid?
Oh, dear.
And
They was, I seen these and I thought, oh, they look really nice. And I contacted the woman. Anyway, I went to have a look at them and I could hardly lift them. But
they look heavy.
She bought them at auction nearly 50 years ago up in Yorkshire. And she moved down to the area and bought these with them. So anyway, I bought them. I gave her £45 for the 3, £15 each.
That's good, that is. Yeah, but you're talking 50 quid each.
Sorry?
50 quid each in the garden centre, easy.
Well, they're
Easy.
made by, they're antique, really. They are old.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful pots. Once I get them in the right place, I'll put them there just for now, but they'll go on my new garden area when the soil gets a bit dry. I've got to get some boards. I'll just lay them out there.
What are you going to put in them?
Eh?
What are you going to put in them?
I don't know yet. Probably for the first year,
You got some fruit trees, ain't you?
I've got some fruit trees. I could do that.
They're deep enough for glads, aren't they? For gladioli. They're deep enough for gladioli, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
They look it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuchsias, Colin, fuchsias.
Fuchsias, anything colourful. Because I'll
Chilies.
Yeah, some good ideas, Scott. Get some reapers in there.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Dutch Irish.
Yeah. Or dear.
Go on, just say.
We'll send you some canners in a couple of weeks, Colin.
Sorry?
We'll send you a couple of canners.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But tell him when
Dahlias, they look nice with dahlias, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
When I split my tubers a bit later on in the spring, I'll let you know, Colin. All right.
Tubers of what?
Canners.
Oh, beautiful. I'd appreciate that. I'll pay
Canners
for
are
them.
perfect in there.
Canners are lovely, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to have far too many for my garden.
Excellent. I look forward to that. So there we are. That's actually, I'll just quickly. It's the first thing I do now when I wake up is go on Facebook and look at the marketplace. See.
Colin, have a look on Facebook and search for eco communities. There's a lot of them around here. There might be one for your area, and it's like a group, and then it's basically give away stuff. And if you're in search of something, you just put ISO, and then put what you're after. And then if you've got it, they'll sort of tell you, and you can go and pick them up, and it's all local to your area. So just put eco community. Eco community for your area.
Yeah.
And then see if you can find one.
It's amazing what people are throwing away or don't want, you know, that other people would find really useful.
Yeah.
That was a view from the bedroom window one morning. You see the lovely frost. My word, very sharp. Foggy, wet day, and I thought, oh, what shall I do? I'm not going out. So I decided to make myself some base gravy for my curries. So I've got a load of onions, potatoes and stuff sticking to a recipe. That's a 10-litre pot there, which is about half full. Go on, Mick.
No chilies.
Hey?
No chilies.
I agree.
No chilies. There's plenty of spices in there. I'll follow the recipe.
Sweet peppers is starting off.
I've got this book, The Indian Restaurant.
Amazon.
Home, and it gives you a recipe for the
Colin, do you freeze your base gravy?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm really interested. If you could send me what you use, that'd be really good.
Oh, blimey. Well, yeah, I will. I'll give you the recipe.
Put it down, send me, and I'll bung it on.
Okay. And then what I'll do, Mick, is I'll print it off and put it in the post, because there are instructions with it as well. But it works out beautiful. I've made, I think I ended up with about 4.5 litres of base gravy. Is there another picture, Mick? No. Oh right, no. This is I've got some left over, so I used it to make a red lentil dal, which is that was beautiful. That was. But the base gravy, once you made it, let it cool down. I save it in 350 to 400 ml portions and freeze. And then when you defrost it and use it for the recipe, it's concentrated, so you can add some water to dilute it to the right consistency.
And then obviously you add your chilies or whatever you want to for the heat.
Well, yeah, you incorporate then. I mean, if you get this book, I don't know, can you see anybody?
Yeah, I've seen that. Is it good? Is it?
Oh, it's brilliant. Honestly, you have to read it from the beginning, because don't skip straight to the recipes, because in the beginning it gives you the method of getting all the ingredients together
Do it a bit closer. Indian restaurant. Curry at home. Thank you.
And it is it's volume 1, that is. I haven't got volume 2 yet. But I haven't had a bad curry out of that.
Where did you get it from, Nick? Colin?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Well, yes.
Amazon. Amazon. But I recommend that. I recommend that book. It's very, very good. If
Yeah, I've just seen the volume 2. I'll buy that one, I think.
if you're into your curries like I am, it's beautiful. So that's me red lentil dal I made once again out of this this recipe out of the book, and that was nice. It's all gone now.
Oh, man.
And there we go.
Good man. Cheers, Colin.
Cheers. It made me hungry now, that has.
Thank you, Colin.
Well, don't get clearing off.
Colin.
Yeah.
Right, another photo I've nicked.
What the hell?
All the babies are underneath.
Oh.
He's looking after them. So that if you see all their legs are higher up. So there's only 2. That one there and that one there. So he's just got these babies tucked underneath.
Amazing.
He's got loads of legs.
Nature aid, great. Right, back to me lawn project. Top of the garden to the slab there, so I've got to lift that one so it's flush. There you can see the metal edging. So I don't know how I'm catching that, so obviously I've got to bring that up. That's looking from t'other end of that road. I've also cleaned all the crap off these slabs as well. Obviously get rid of all the dirt and rubbish. So I don't know how I'm dragging it into the house. Right, I'm going to lift that slab up there, which I've done there. I've still got the tub of this crap on the front, so before they come and pick that up, I've compacted this and that, and this now nice and straight there, nice and solid. Put a bit more wedging down the side there, so the hound don't dig that up. But that's nice and level there. I ain't going to catch yourself. Perfect. This one I'm still coming to get. I've just reminded him he's got to repay me because I bloody paid for that. I went up Wix and I saw this stuff, because most of the stuff on this is not on the internet. There's nothing, because this is pliable obviously, but it is solid once it's in there, and because you've got a bevel top on the top there, or rounded top, if a dog does scrape it, it ain't going to hurt them because it's plastic or plastic rubber, whatever. So I thought that'll do. And on the way back I thought I'll link it in Blackheath Market and get me some home cured bacon. Good dollops, so I froze quite a bit as well. Look at that. Cherry top.
You're making me feel hungry.
I know. It's Colin, but he started it.
Yeah, I'm starving now.
Just Cole.
New comic.
Yeah, that's it, mate. This just dropped it off. So they skipped for all the crap, got that out the road as well. Right, my little babies in the greenhouse. I've got the small wires on. There's now some getting a bit big, so I'm extending to the large wires as well. So there's my small one on, and there he is. So I'm putting a large wire in also, just as Dave mentioned earlier on, keep them nice and straight. Just look after the chaps. And this is nice to see, because you can see that they're putting a bit of weight on, or growth. Like I've missed that one the day before, because it ain't going to grow that much overnight. Just lift that up the wire and bring him over, then bring that down. Just keeping them inside, so at least you know they are growing. Right, there's that edge. What I've got to do to get my plastic edging, what I've just bought, is get all the soil away from that, because it's going straight up against the rim what they've made. So I had 3 of them, plus if I go back on that one, I've got to fill that with topsoil as well. Pack it in, so I've got some of their topsoil. So I'm starting from just behind this raised bed here, and then I should go around there and up there. There's a gaffer, just to show me what to do. This is good in the sense there's the piece in the middle there, so when you do get to the end, that fits right sneakily in there. And once I have put this in, and it is dry, then on the other side of it I'll put some black sticky tape so it sticks them two together, but it don't look too bad as it is now. We'll see later on. So I'm going from the bottom end up there. I've got all the soil out with my hand fork. That's placed in. These canes are just putting temporary just to stop that springing back. Right, starting off down the bottom here, there is 3 marks on it, meaning it's measured. So I'm going down to the top mark, which should make sense. It's this side. There's the other end ready. Obviously it'll be pulled that way, but I'll just show that just to show that'll be going into this end. Same as the multi-purpose compost wherever you get, same as topsoil. This is a crap, that's a bloody stone. There's a bloody great chunk of wood. So that's what I want it now, because the hound has still been digging shit out on the lawn. But now with this in, I can't get in there, because this has been in now 3 days and it's worked. We'll just go into the area where I haven't got it in yet. And that's the crap out of one bag. Topsoil my ass. But I was quite chuffed with that, because I pull it as I compact it at the back of the soil. I just smack it down with fist. But it's good. I like the edging. It's worth a treat. So that was one roll. So just I had a bit left over that one. So I'll probably have to go and get another roll for the other side and the top as well. And then I had a parcel come through. That's how it come through with a bloody great dent on it. Thank you, Royal Mail. And this was off Scott. He sent me one of his favourite dahlias, Coleman's dahlias, or tuber I should say, sorry. And there's a little chap, and it's called Pooh. So he'll be going in the middle of my new raised bed.
Oh, lovely.
Excellent.
Nice colours.
And if I can do
Beautiful,
it,
aren't
the corker, I shall be exhibiting him this year.
Tropical colours.
So that's the first lot put in, and then with the soil compacted on the side of it. Right, what they should have done with the scraps, all they did was if you imagine me greenhouses there and then this raised bed, tunnel this side, first 2 pathways, that's all they covered with the scraps. But looking at the photos I took, there was loads of scraps, and they could have done all the raised beds, but they bloody took it up to sell or whatever. Arseholes. But that is nice and straight now, and I've finished that lot. Because I needed small for the behind the shed and the top of there's a place down Trade Leith 5 Ways, the carpet shop, and they've got a roll of this outside the artificial grass. So I had to go and buy that lot there, plus opposite hardware shop, so I got some tent pegs. But instead of tent pegs, I saw these as well, which is a loop on the top. You'll see better there underneath, so that's even better. Staking this down. So one edge which I've whacked in there with them hooks, I think there's about 4 in there. Then when I've got time, I'm going to get a good Stanley knife, go down that edge, and then peg them in as well. That'll go in flush that end and that end. So it's just less work for everything, and it makes better. Right, these are Boo Book Owls. There's 2 L's there, but you've got to bloody look closely to sort them out. It's bloody great, ain't it? Camouflage. Love it. Oh, our fifth guest speaker, Dave Bradley. He's also coming to our show this year. I hope so, Dave.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Good man, good man.
I was at my allotment just doing a bit of harvesting, and I decided to take a few shots just for tonight's show.
Good man.
Yeah, so that's obviously one leek bed that I've got, and we always used protection, obviously, because of the leek moth. So it's obviously been a protection we've used for several years.
Enviromesh?
Yeah, environment or vegemesh, as they usually call it. Either that, yeah. So, and that's the contents inside. They've done all right, but I've had some bigger specimens, but it may be a problem that I've pulled the ground a bit too much, and I'll need to get some more good nourishment back into the ground.
Yeah.
Notice on there, David, you don't seem to have much rust.
No, I do. Well, I mean, I've been 7 years on this plot, and I've done quite well. I've never had much problems with rust.
What's the variety of those?
I've done either below 0 or it's usually an F1 I've used, or a longbow, and I've done all right with these different varieties. But I do use the F1 varieties.
Do you know what, Nigel?
Yeah.
I haven't had rust for 7 years. I had it about 7 years ago, and it absolutely killed my leeks. Well, it didn't kill them. Leeks and onions. I have never suffered from rust. I use a product called Bumper.
Yeah. That's what the big boys use for the rust.
I use a product called Bumper. I'm not sure if you can still got it, but I got some off somebody.
Is that a one-off? Is that a one-off treatment or what?
Yeah, I just treated them late autumn, early December, early winter.
Yeah.
Never had a problem with rust at all on anything since I've sprayed with that.
Touch wood, I've never used any chemicals or spraying whatsoever in all the 7 years.
I think it depends where you live, and I think it depends on the type of winter you get.
Yeah.
I've used Bumper in the past, Nick, as well, and it's very, very effective.
There is some other products out there apart from Bumper. Just Google Annam's rust treatment. There is other ones out there that's similar. I don't think you can buy Bumper anymore. Mick might be able to clear that one up, but I don't think you can.
I think you still get it online, but it's expensive.
Never heard of it, have we?
Yeah, Bumper.
You know how like when I was in the
same as most of them. It's 1 milliliter to 1 litre.
Yeah. There's another one that I bought, I remember, at the same time as that, something called DCIS.
Yeah, I've heard of that as well.
DECIS, and that's for caterpillars and whitefly.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant stuff.
But I think if you've got healthy plants to start with, and you've got good soil, that you're not going to get rust not very often.
Yeah. Anybody else get rust on your plot, Dave? On your site?
Not that I know of. Yeah, Andy's got his allotment further down. I don't know if he's had problems, but I've not heard anybody say any different now.
It's an airborne thing, isn't it, rust?
Yeah.
It's an airborne disease, so if you've got allotments near you and somebody's got it, then you're more than likely to pick it up.
I've got it on a pear tree. I've had it years on pear tree.
Yeah.
That's probably the birds carry it, don't they? I suppose they contaminate.
Yeah, they can do from their poo.
Their excretions, etc.
But I look at
See if I can get some of that and try it on pear tree.
This I do net when they get tall. I do tend to net my sprouts. I grow about 30 or 40 sprouts. I think these are maximum.
What are you feeling, the whole community?
No, we like our winter veg.
It must be pretty windy where you live.
No, No, we don't have that business. No, we're all right.
Yogi many away, I tell you.
No,
We use them in stir fries and quiches and.
Because I grow 4, and that's enough for me.
No. I'd say I've like it again. I've been growing these ever since I've been on the allotment, and never had any problem like that. Beautiful vegetable.
How many times do you have council out, Dave, to clean your pipes?
Oh, sorry. No,
I'm jealous, Dave.
Do you want?
I've got some leeks in there as well undercover, and I did have some problem with badgers, and they smashed them a few times, and I've had to rebuild that. But they're coming back up again, so they're pretty easy to grow.
Those leeks you've got going, Dave, are they when did you set them off?
Well, I start from seed, like in February usually, and I grow them in the greenhouse and then plant them down at the allotment.
Okay.
Hand up.
Somebody's got their hand up, Dennis Barry.
Yeah, I got a hand up. I was just going to say that I've actually got bumper, but it is off the market now. It can't be anymore. But I also use Signum.
Yeah, Signum's good.
Signum, and there's another one. The name goes by me now. It's about £200 for a gallon. They use a lot of it for chrysanthemum rust as well. The Signum, I use bumper and Signum quite well. Matter of fact, I did a chrysanthemum spray today with Signum and Dynamec on the cuttings. The cuttings now. The
Dynamec is for the thrip. The Signum
that's right.
is
Yeah,
for
that's right.
Signum's for powdery mildew. If
Yes,
you've got if you've got a stream or running water near you or a river, you tend to get a lot of mist coming off the water.
Yeah.
And that causes the powdery mildew. So don't get confused between rust and the powdery mildew. It's 2 different products.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a stream that followed down the back of the shed there. That's continually flowing.
Yeah. Well, that can cause it then.
Yes. So have I actually.
Yeah, that will cause it. If you've got fresh running water where you create a lot of where temperature goes up and down. If you imagine the water temperature goes up and down and creates a lot of. You normally find by rivers and streams you get a lot of mist in the morning.
Yeah.
That can carry the powdery mildew. Basically, all it is the amount of moisture that's in the air to the quantity of air, which suppresses the plant and causes that problem.
I've actually got it's coming through my tunnel from underground in between the raised beds. So last year I dug it all up and put a pipe. I've piped it all the way to the bottom of the garden now, and I've actually piped it into that bit of a stream that's going by. But the council have come down. I've actually piped it. So mine is just flowing out at the end now.
Oh, that's perfect.
So, but I have a job to try and stop the water flooding in the tunnel.
Sorry, Dave.
No,
Yeah,
sorry.
No, these are turnips next to there, but then those, I've never grown turnips before, and those, we're not big turnip eaters, are we? But they were quite nice for some of what we've had anyway, so I like footballs. Yeah, that's the Maximus F1 that I grew. I've never grown them before, but I'll say I've usually Breast F1 I've used before, and I've been happy with those. But I had some seed and they didn't materialise. I took to these and they've come on all right. Quite pleased with those.
Sorry, I'm going to ask another question because I'm not very good with Brussels sprouts. When does everybody start them? I sort of germinate them around May time.
No, like again, it's usually February.
I do mine February.
Early March.
The long growing. They need a long growing season, Nick.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yep. I plant out in May, and then I've got them covered. Yeah, and I cover them under netting about 2 foot high, and then they just come on from there. Yeah.
I guess probably where I'm going wrong with them. I get some, but not many.
They benefit from really firm ground.
Yeah.
You know, don't plant on newly dug or newly cultivated soil. It's really firm.
And what I've experimented with this year is using the plastic sheeting, where I've, I've planted them inside the gaps that I've opened up.
Yeah.
And that's proved better for keeping weed down, etc., and keeping the ground clean. I'm very impressed with that this year.
Keeps your moisture in as well.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously I use the netting for obviously keep off insects, etc., and keeping the produce clean.
Yeah. Another photo for Nick.
Making me hungry.
He's bought them out of Tesco.
Sprat wine.
Good
Sprat
morning.
wine, Nick.
I've just gone online on Tesco and bought 2 bags.
Sprat
That's
wine.
where he said he's from.
Sprout wine.
That's just got my shallots coming up under there. Not a very good picture, but just to keep the birds off them and the garlic that the birds have been pulling up. So,
yeah,
protection. So,
excellent, Dave.
Cheers.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you,
Dave.
That's the only photo I've got for you, didn't it? That one.
Yeah.
Good day, mate.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
This is another photo I nicked off obviously the internet, but this is a bridge, and that's the side of the railings, but with the sun on the right side. That's how it comes out like piano keys. I thought excellent. Somebody's put the brain together there, ain't they? Oh, look at this.
Oh, not again.
There's me beef dripping from me joint. This is what we used to have when we was kids at school, the boys' school. We used to have a toast for break time. Beef dripping with the pepper on.
And that's the little copy.
That's beautiful.
Mick,
Crusty cob. Yes, dear.
I've got to ask the question, does the wife eat it?
The dripping?
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
Never had it.
I do. I took it every day to work.
Oh, no.
Not a sprout inside. So that goes on, then me mate, and a bit of salt. Just I don't use salt with any of me cooking, but because I used to have salt on it when I was a kid, that just brings back some memory of that one.
That's a real health kick.
Oh, going back to our lawn, looking at this after the frost had gone and they cleared off, there's a dip there. So I thought that don't look bloody right. So on closer inspection, I lifted the corner, and you see where they'd run out of edging, the metal edging, and just bloody left it. They didn't even pack this corner up. So that was another complaint I've kicked off with them. I've done the edging the other side. Obviously, I'm going to start this side this week and go around this way. But as you can see, that's why the edging's going in, because I can still get. Because there's a digger, are you? And that's putting that together there. Just looks well. And it bends good as well around corners. I mean, that's a slight bend, but that's a corner there, which is a proper corner, and that one. But it's good for that. But the missus is well with it, so. But that's it. Perfect. One side done. Only one on compost corner. Right. There should have been another photo there. You might be after this one. Right, that's the join on the seam. Now, when they put this down, there's a roll underneath, a sticky roll. We've used these. It's like the old felt, but yeah, you have to melt the tar. And we used to use like a little flame gun just to get it hot. So when you put that down and put these flaps down, it sticks to these. But we'd had a frost the night before and the frost the night they finished with this when they put this down. And it's coming up already. The bloody this side, you can just make it out there.
So, Mick, you're not impressed with it then?
No, they've had a right mouthful.
There's a lump and all just further up where Yarra is. Go
I
over.
found out the lads who put this down, there was 2 of them, took 2 days, and it was a rush job. The gaffer who was supposed to be in charge.
See, I'd have thought if you'd have measured up your area of lawn, it would be one size that went from one side to the other.
That's what I thought.
They could
get it that wide.
If it had gone that way, the seam would have come down there. Would have done one side this, one side the other. Any road. What they should have done was get a blower on this so it was sticky as a fart, meaning this would stick to it. But I found out with the 2 lads, because I looked after them, and basically they were treated like shit. And to get this supple or a bit sticky-ish, they went and put the heater on in the van and put it on in front of the blower. So the other company, who I should have had in the first place, but they hadn't got no metal edging, I've sent all the photos to him, and he says, take them to the small claims. You have got proof, i.e. your photos, and that treated you like shit. Meaning, well, it's shit you don't need, innit?
How much that cost me? Not being rude, or you don't have to tell me.
$3,000.
Okay.
$3,000 both quotes. But the other chap says, job them. They've shit on you.
I'll do your case, Mick.
I'm just waiting for a reply off this asshole.
I thought Prince Andrew might have been in touch with you, Steve.
No, not yet, mate.
See, a bit of advice for anybody doing a home project, and you may not agree. If you do a home project, I treat it like I do at home. I do at work. So I agree payment terms. So I do 20% on order, 50% or 60% on work, and 20% on happy with the work. That way you hold on to the profit.
Great, Nick. That's how you do it.
You agree payment terms. Sorry, Mick's a bit late in the day now, but if you do that with them, say, look, I'll pay 20% up front, I'll pay 60, and I'll pay another 20 when I'm happy with the work. That's what I do at work with any capital expenditure project.
Yeah.
It makes them get it right first time.
Why don't you write to him, Mick, and say, if you don't sort it out, I'm going to take it further.
I'm just waiting for him to get back to me, because I've only said that last one about the stuff coming up this afternoon.
It's a lot of money, $3,000, if they've done it wrong, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
Right, my compost one, which should have been this one. This is me back when I went back down Tesco for some more spent coffee grounds. When you come out the tills, they have people who take old books in paperbacks, and they line them up. You put 10 pence or some shit in a little tin. And this is one of the oldest books. I picked this one up as well. You can see by the side of the book there. This is one of the oldest pages I've had, and that just, well, I could rip the book in half. I could do that with my sprint. That's how old it is. Beautiful. Right. If nobody's seen that in the news, number 10 has been refurbished. And with the spoons. I thought that was brilliant. I nicked that off my mate's sale. Right.
It's about right to know, Mick.
But only on Fridays.
I've got to close this up before I can move that. Well, we've got a quick one now from Steve. Yes, thank you, sir.
Right.
And there it is. Thank you very much. If you'd like to give him a round of applause.
Hey!
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
He's winding you.
It was a picture of his back garden, but it was foggy.
Michael, where did you get that picture?
Which you've been framed. You've been framed. Stop the place.
Let's put that together.
Yeah.
Ben, give me that one.
Can I ask a general question, please? Has anybody had any experience using pallet collars as raised beds?
I've got 4 of them.
Have you? Are they all right?
In my bottom tunnel, but they go. I'll see some pictures.
What are you going to be growing on, Colin?
I've got 3 in the one and 2 in the others together.
I've got loads.
Great.
Hello? Oh, you're all breaking up now.
Colin, you're going to stack them up to grow parsnips or carrots? Colin.
Carrots is my idea. Just get three I don't know how high they are, but I thought a stack of 3 or 4, about a meters cube, is it? Meter square, are ideal for a carrot bed.
I'd think about lining the inside
What do you
with
reckon?
black plastic.
Yeah.
Did mine.
Colin, check out Terry King's YouTube channel. Can you hear me?
Terry King.
Terry King, yeah.
Terry King.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got a YouTube channel. He's from Warwickshire.
Warwickshire.
And he does a lot. And he recycles.
right.
He's a bin man. He works for the council, and he collects loads and loads of stuff. And one of the things he always uses is Collet Palace. Yeah, you know what I mean. I've been in the pub too long now. Pallet collars, and he does great stuff with them. And he lines them, as Nigel says. He lines them all.
Yeah.
Doing what mixed, like you know how mixed on these raised beds with that all plastic.
Yeah. Well, I've got these raised beds with me concrete things, but I've got an area where I could just specifically for carrots. And I thought if I get 3 or 4 of these, depending on how high are they, do you know?
About 9 inches.
9
About 8 inches, 9 inches.
18, so 3 high really.
I'll do 4.
4.
Yeah.
Excellent filling. Excellent filling them. Excellent filling them.
Put some more smoke in the bottom for us, Colin.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
I thought
Loads of
that
people
would be
use
good.
them. That must go in.
So I'll have a look.
They'll
Yeah.
pay B&Q prices though.
No.
No, well, you know where I'll be looking for them, don't you?
Amazon.
You normally pay a £5.
Facebook.
Colin, are you just on about growing carrots here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? The best way to grow carrots, I find, grow them in 35-litre buckets, just F2 plus sand, or just a general purpose compost. Keep it moist. Put some saucers at the bottom. Keep them watered for eating, for exhibition. That's all you need to do.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother too. Carrots in the ground are hard work because you're relying on really reliable soil, really fine soil. They fork. If you use your spent compost from the year before, put that in, feed it with a bit of horse milk on top through the autumn, not too strong, and just put them in there. You'll get carrot upon carrot. You'll grow better carrots in containers than you will in the ground.
The other thing to look out for, Colin, is the overflow tanks out of lofts. Them are good.
Oh yeah.
You'll have a bloody flood then.
We'll see. I'll have a look round. Food for thought. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Right, Jacko was speaking to Colin then, just while we got hold of Jacko. He won the worm wheel last week. And he's had a bag of compost out of the shed, local. I got to post it to him. I'll sort it out. If you can't get round, I'll drop it off there.
Come round, no problem.
Drop it off at Marpardo's.
Mick, is it next week? Is it next Saturday we're meeting up?
One after, Saturday after.
Mick,
not next
Mick,
Saturday, no.
No.
Mick, if you check out compost round, you'll be able to get the ops on the way back.
I've just asked for it.
Well, I remember, Mick, chuck me in 10 bags of compost.
Okay, mate.
Just the clover multi-purpose.
Over, yeah. The next Zoom is Sunday the 30th of Jan. Next Sunday I've got a reunion. Ganges reunion, because I'm all dying.
Oh dear, that's going to be messy.
Oh, Mick, talking about dying.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
No. One of the last true gardeners, Peter Seabrook, passed away on Friday.
Yeah, I've seen that,
yeah.
Nigel. I've seen that. Yeah, today. 86, I think.
86, died of heart attack, yeah.
He didn't do bad, did he?
Nah.
Nah.
Was that the one with the high-pitched voice?
The one with the half-cut glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Bye, Jeff.
86.
Yeah, Jeff, come on.
Hi.
Right then, people, I've enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody who spoke.
Are we back next week?
2
weeks.
Courteous, Colin, are you not listening?
Next week. I'll have a drink for you all next week.
Yep.
Yeah. Have a good one,
Have a
mate.
drink for me.
Everybody.
Birthday.
Cheers.